Hi everyone, it's Tonya from Psycho Moms, and I'm going to show you today how to generate the artwork for your Teresa Collins Stampmaker. And today I am working in Adobe Illustrator, but you could work in any kind of image software that would allow you to print a vector-based image. You don't want to use bitmapped images or compressed images like JPEGs or PNG files, because they're pixel based and pixels are squares, and of course when you enlarge or decrease the size of something that is pixel based, you get jagged edges. So you want a really good smooth image. You can use photographs for creating stamps, but you want to make sure they're in the black and white format and they are the highest quality image size that you could possibly capture. Now inside your box you're going to get a CD. And the CD is very important for you to watch. Please take the time to go through this entire CD. There is instructional videos that go step by step on everything in the process. There's a troubleshoot guide that is a print ready, and you can download it and use it for references. There are the biggest present that's on the CD is Teresa Collins has included about 20 or 30 images that you are free to use however you wish to make your stamps. They are not for resale. You cannot resell these images. But she's also very graciously said that she will include additional images on her blog. So please check out this CD, but also the CD has an image manipulation program that will allow you to generate vector-based images. Excuse me. So make sure you check out the CD. Now I am not going to use the program that comes with the Stampmaker because I have Adobe Illustrator, and I found that it was just a little easier for me because it's something I'm familiar with. But the process is the same no matter what program you are using. You always want to make sure you start out with a black artboard. So what I've generated here is there is an image. My image size is going to, I'm using the medium size photopolymer, which is 4 inches wide by 2 3/8 inches high. So I want to make sure that my artboard is at least a good inch larger than that or more, because I want to make sure that my image is completely surrounded with black all the way around. But I also want to make sure my image doesn't exceed the size of the photopolymer packet. So I generated my image on a 4 inch by 2 3/8 inch artboard, and then I increased the size of the artboard by a ½ inch all the way around, or well, it's almost 2 inches all the way around, or an inch all the way around. So I set it to 4.5 inches wide, so it's only ½ an inch wide. Wider, and it's at 3.5 inches tall because I wanted it to be a little bit taller. Then I have already created my image. I'm not going to redraw this image because it just takes too long for the process of printing. So I've already generated my image, and now I'm going to import it in, and my actual image dimension is less than, you know, what it says, than what is on the photopolymer. It says up here it is 2 inches high by 3.69 inches wide. So it fits inside my 4 inch by 2 3/8 inch parameter. Now you also, when you print this out, you want to make sure that you have this really wide margin all the way around, because this wide margin is going to help block the light that's going to come in when you're processing. Plus it's going to give you an area where when you print on the negative film, you have enough black to where you can cut to just the inside of the black area and not trim any of your design away. So to set up the printer for printing, you always want to make sure that you're using a inkjet printer, because inkjets, you can control the amount of ink that gets dumped down. On a laser printer, it's toner and it doesn't print as dark, so they don't recommend laser images. However, they do say that they sell negative film that it has to be special ordered for laser printer. So if that's your only option, you may want to explore that. I'm not thinking that any of the the scrapbooking companies are carrying laser negative film, but I could be wrong. So just, you'll have to investigate that on your own. So I've pulled out my archaic HP printer here. It's a dinosaur, I know, but I keep it around for printing things such as this. And what you want to do is make sure that you put your film in so that it prints with on the milky side of the film. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, I have no earthly idea which side of that film is milky and which side is slick. It's very hard to tell. So what I did was I just damped my finger, I just licked my finger and touched the tip corner of the negative film, and where the film dissolves and it becomes clear all the way through, that's the side that is matte, or it has the film on it. So that's the side you want to print. Every printer prints differently. I highly recommend, before you print this for real on your negative film, which is very expensive, please make sure that you do a test run on plain paper, and maybe write the word top on the top of the paper, put it into your tray, and then see which way it prints to see, you know, which way you need to do the orientation for your printer. Every printer's different. Don't do what I do. Do what is right for your printer. So to set this document up for print, before we go printing it and going back over to Illustrator, you are going to go up to File and you're going to go to Print, but you're going to go into if you notice, the design is set in Illustrator, and it'll do it in Photoshop too. It defaults to printing to the center of the paper. I don't want to do that because I don't want to waste all of this negative film around it. So I'm going to just drag my image up to the top left hand corner so that it actually prints in the corner of the paper. Now I know Microsoft Word prints wherever the positioning is on the page, and keep in mind the margins. So you may have to adjust that for the program that you're using, is all I'm saying. And then I'm going to make sure I have my inkjet printer selected, and then I'm going to go down to Setup, and I'm going to go into the Setup dialog box. I'm going to go to Preferences, and I'm going to go over to the paper quality, and I'm going to make sure that my paper size is set to letter, because my negative film is actually standard letter size paper. And then I'm going to come down to the paper type, and I'm going to change it to transparency. And for me, it's going to be, on my dialog, it's not just transparent film, it's other transparent film, because it's not HP. And what this does is it tells the printer to adjust the print head so that it doesn't smear the ink onto that transparency. Transparencies are slick surfaces, and it just kind of helps tell the printer that it needs to adjust how it handles that particular paper type. Then you're going to come over to paper quality, and you're going to change your paper quality to maximum DPI, and that's going to dump the maximum amount of ink that it possibly can into that space. The reason that you want to do that is because it prevents light from coming through the darker it is. So make sure that you have that set. Now you're going to make sure your film is loaded properly, and then you're going to hit print. Now I'm not going to print it now because I've already printed one, and it takes too long for the printer to print it, and because it's doing it in such a high mode. If you remove your transparency film and it is still wet and it smears, you have printed on the wrong side. Flip it over and do it again. The other hint I want to give you is you do not have to be an artist to have to use the Teresa Stampmaker product. There are plenty of vector-based products out there on the internet that you can either buy, or you can, there's a lot of them that say if you're using it for personal use, you can download it for free. But please respect the copyright laws that are in place. They're there to protect the artists who so graciously share their work online. So please do not reproduce an image that is going to cause you to be in a copyright infringement. You know, artists spend a lot of time creating things, and you know it's one of those things where I feel like it's stealing if you're not careful. So there are programs out there. There are companies out there like Stock Photos. iStock, I think, is one of them, or you know, just go into a search engine and search for vector-based images. You can buy them usually for like a couple of bucks if it's something that you're using for personal use. So please check into that. You don't have to be an artist to do this. You just have to make sure that your image is in black and white. You want to make sure that you're printing on negative film, or you know, the negative side. And if you're doing text, you do not have to print it backwards. You can print it the correct way. That's another thing that's really neat about this. So anyway, that's all I have for this video. Watch part 2. We're going to actually make the stamp that we created here. Thank you for watching.